Hello.
Hi, Katrina.
Hello. I am excited to be talking to Sensei Towani today, and we are going to get into how yoga can help you heal. And there's a different way to do yoga than perhaps a lot of us in the States are used to. And I'm sure you're noticing right now, you know, I don't have on a scarf, but you have on a scarf. And what that means is we live in Colorado. That's what that means. It's unmistakable. So if you would just introduce yourself to everyone.
I'm Yoga Sensai Towani Clarke. So I'm currently right here in Denver, Colorado, but recently moved here from Lusaka, Zambia, and the southern part of Africa.
Nice. So I already know. Here's the second thing I know about you. You're going to have hair dryness because that's also what happens here.
Well, that happens back home. So, so for most of the years, I'm pretty much used to it. But
Yes. Yes.
learning to use my leave-in conditioners more, getting into the hang of that.
Yes. And coconut oil. You got to.
Yes, coconut oil as well. I think I need to be a little bit more generous with the coconut oil after the moisturizer, after the leave-in conditioner.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Well, I really wanted to talk to you for a couple reasons. One of which I am wanting to give us some tools to heal ourselves. There's a lot of focus on um, self love, self healing, putting yourself first so that you are able to take care of all the things in your space as women that
Yes,
we usually do. Um,
absolutely.
so that's part of the reason I wanted to talk to you. And the other reason I wanted to talk to you is because I have been to several of your yoga classes. And
Oh, my Facebook Live ones, the ones that
yes,
are going on right now on the Katuta Yoga page.
yes, yes. And I find them so refreshing because they're different. They're not like the yoga classes that I've been to. I personally, I haven't gotten as much out of the classes I've been to in the past because I think they're too fast. I can't really like get into it.
Mm.
So tell us about your class and what kind of yoga do you do and what's your method?
Well, the whole thing about style. What style of yoga do you teach? Totally confused me in the beginning, right? When I was doing my teacher training. So I loved what my first teacher, Warren, in Cape Town or South Africa, says, yoga is yoga. Ultimately, we are all doing the same poses. But as I have gotten into it, I've gotten a better grasp of the different styles. And if I had to choose a style that would describe the kind of yoga that I teach, I would say hatha. So it's HA, is ha, it's represented by the sun, which is hard, and it's the yang energy, it's the hot energy, the harder energy, and tha, which means moon, which is the softer and the feminine energy. So my aim is to get a class that is balanced between the ha, the hard, and a little bit more effort and sweat. We build up the heart rate, and tha, which is calming. Because I think what's lacking a lot is balance. I noticed that in here in the States, generally the faster type of yoga is more popular. The vinyasa flow, hot room yoga. I mean, Bikram is now discredited, so people won't say Bikram yoga, but they will say hot yoga or even vinyasa and heat, because ha is also represented by heat and tha is cooling down. I like personally the more traditional yoga, hatha yoga. I feel is the more traditional kind of yoga. But funnily enough, I actually started with the faster yoga because I was like, that's yoga. I want to keep fit. I want to have this lovely yoga body. So I need to be sweating. I need to be doing stuff.
Mhm.
That's where I came from. And when I came to my first teacher, Warren, in Cape Town, when I did my first yoga course, my YTT, which is a yoga teacher training course in 2009, I was like, I'm going to fall asleep in this class. I mean, this warm up, when are we starting the real stuff? But as I got into it, I realized I needed to slow down.
Mhm.
My mind needed to slow down. I needed to come into myself. And I found that slowing down the class helped me do that.
Okay, now that is a great point because that's how I feel when I take your class. I feel like I can relax and pay attention to what my body is doing, and I'm not
Absolutely.
just like striking a pose, you know, that
Yeah,
Madonna strike a pose. We're not. That's not what yoga is
you're right.
about. And so I was very, I felt good and it was happy when I did your class. Now, the other thing I like about your class, okay, you guys, you get permission to roll your eyes. In the class. You
Right in the beginning.
right in the- oh, you can do it both sides. You do, okay? So it felt good. Permission granted. It's part of her warm up, and it actually feels really good. I didn't know how restricted I was. My face. It's a thing. It's a thing. So, how do you think your yoga style and what you know, because it's not just yoga. I think yoga is a fuller practice than perhaps we realize because of the types
Absolutely.
of classes that we go to here. So,
Absolutely.
I noticed that you focus a lot on conditions, like specific conditions that people may have at different parts of their body. And what I would like to ask you is how do you help heal with a heartache or trauma if you are doing yoga with Yoga Sensai Towani? What would you do? How do you
Well, I mean, I do one-on-one classes. When I do one-on-one classes, then we can zone into the particular area that somebody is working through. If
you
it's
do
trauma,
one-on-one classes?
I do. I did back home in Zambia when I get my social security number, when I get legal to work in this country, I will do long. But guess what? We're going to have a promotion on Kututa Yoga for people who are gonna take part in all of next week. You get take part in all of the classes next week. You get a chance to win a free one-on-one session.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
That is very good to know. So what would you do for trauma or heartache even? This is there's a lot happening in the world right now and we get infused with so much information. So if you don't know, you got to be able to like recycle that and turn it into something. How do you do it?
The classes are themed differently. Actually, last week, a good week in question, last week we were focusing on the heart chakra
Mm,
and how we all at one point have had some heart issues, a broken heart, whether it's from losing somebody close to us in the sense that we've had a breakup or something happened to them and they left this plane. So that often happens. What happens generally with emotions as they work through the body, we'll use the heart as an example, but this can apply to different emotions, but it'll just be in different parts of the body. But speaking about heartache, we hold it a lot right here.
mhm.
We talk about people who hold the cards close to their heart. We
Yeah.
talk about being brokenhearted. And we actually feel like going into a more fetal and a protective position in our body without even realizing it because we find that opening up, we felt injured in some way with opening up. So we want to go through a period of protection. What I have seen through yoga is that the emotions get locked in us and they get locked in different places, and heartbreak in these areas, they get locked in this area. what yoga is great for, but it's not something that we have to use with the exception of any other things that help. But I find that yoga is a great catalyst to
Hmm.
get you going on your journey and will help you incorporate even more things in your journey. So, in the heart opening sessions, we open up the chest and the throat, which releases a lot of emotions. Speaking for myself, I remember doing these heart opening poses 5 years after the breakup of my first marriage. I thought, yay, I'm fine. I'm over this. But guess what? I didn't realize how much was there within me. I literally blacked out.
Hmm.
I stopped seeing. I was in camel's pose where my hands were back, my chest was lifted. I couldn't see anything but black. I couldn't hear anything except a ringing in my ears. And I literally was like, girl, get out of this pose before you land up in a crumpled mess on the floor. And I came
Wow.
out of it. And that's when I realized how much gets stuck in the body. So this is
Mhm.
energy that's locked. So this is tension that we hold around us. This is
Mhm.
energy that we can't use, which is not flowing through us. So once we learn, and it's not something that will necessarily happen for all of us one time, but we can release and we can release and get over this and open up again for ourselves and for other people. And this is the healing that yoga can really help with. I mean, we do, you may notice in the warm up that we do the heart opening warm up. It kind of looks like a tribal dance when you do it. You know, you open and look up and
Mhm.
go around and over here. I don't
Mhm.
know if you
Yeah,
remember.
it looks like an African dance.
It does.
Mhm.
You know, you can kind of
West African.
imagine yourself doing it in a circle around the fire.
Uh-huh.
But it's very intuitive and it feels right. So through the moves, yoga can really help unlock a lot of emotions and energy that have been trapped in our body, that we have trapped unknowingly in our body.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Okay.
healing is a process of releasing that so that the energy can flow for the other things that we want to do in our life and we're not stuck there with these things.
Yes. Oh man, that was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I love I love the warm up. And whatever you do after that is just icing on the cake. But
Really?
yeah, I really do. I enjoy it. I enjoy it very much. And the ending is good too because then you're kind of internalizing and relaxing and just going
The
in.
warm up, actually, Katrina, the warm up is taken from the pranic healing school. So if
Mm,
you look at pranic healing, there's I think Master Ko. I don't know. I think he's from Malaysia. I can't remember how to pronounce it, but you can just look up pranic healing. So that warm up was taken from the pranic healing school. I did some pranic healing courses last year, and they're working very particularly with the different energy centers in the body. And you will notice that in the warm up, we are moving. We start with the right, and then we go to the left, but we're moving first in a clockwise direction. Now, that clockwise movement is to help clear, is to help cleanse some of the energies. And then after we go to the right, even with the rolling of the eyes, remember we rolled our eyes clockwise to the right, and then we roll the eyes, and the bigger the better the roll. If
yes, yes.
the left, and the left is bringing in fresh energy, it's like in the kitchen you want to put your food, the energy that we're eating in a cleaner container, right? You don't want to put nicely freshly cooked food in a container that is contaminated. So that's also
Right.
what we're doing in yoga, that is those two
Mm,
sides of healing, removing the negative and what is traumatized and what is not, what we don't need anymore. We don't
right,
need things. A lot
right,
of the food
right,
stuck on the plate is food from yesterday, from
right.
the week before. It's like we don't need it anymore. It's gone stale.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah. So we remove that. And once we remove that, then we can bring in some freshness, some fresh energy. So that's why I always believe that after a yoga class, you should be calm, relaxed, but in some way also energized, not drained.
Hmm.
Because yoga should increase our prana, it should increase our energy levels.
That's a good point. Because I definitely felt more balanced after the class. I didn't know that's what I was supposed to be feeling, but
You
I
feel
really
whatever we're
felt
supposed
it.
to be feeling.
I did. I felt more balanced after the class. So I guess that worked out.
Great.
Well, I want to give a specific ask for the community because we're dealing with COVID-19 right now. Um, if you have been ill with anything really, but if you have been ill with COVID-19, you actually have to put effort into recovering and getting your body back to its optimal state. It doesn't just snap back.
Tell me about it.
This is a virus that it it attacks your organs. And so we have to do things to replenish them. And I would definitely suggest for anyone who has experienced COVID-19 or other illnesses, um, formulate a plan to revitalize yourself internally. Please do that and use this yoga. Go to Tawani's page, follow her, find out when the classes are, and this is a good way to help you revitalize yourself, not only with your energy, but internally. You learn so much. I learned so much. We were talking about chakras and you explain what it is and its relevance. And I can't say enough about the classes. So we are out of time.
It went so fast, right?
So fast. But if you would just tell us how to follow you and anything that's coming up next, and we're definitely going to post it and follow you and let people know how to get in touch.
Well, you can follow my name, as Katrina says. Just you could leave out to find me on Facebook. You could leave out the Yoga Sensei part and just put Towani Clarke, and you'll come across my personal page, which will link you through to the yoga page. The yoga page is called Kututa. Kututa means to breathe in Tumbuka, which is the language, the tribe of my maternal grandfather. It's Kututa, and maybe we can have that up on the screen later up and or share it. But Kututa Yoga is the place where the live classes are happening at 9:50 Mountain Time here in Colorado, through to 11:05. So just 10 minutes to talk about what we're doing in the class, the energy center we're focusing on, and then a check-ins 5 minutes after the class. So the class is really just an hour in total. And the coming classes are focusing, we're moving up from the throat, we're going to speak to the brow, which is really cool because a lot of us are wondering, where do we go, right? What's going to happen? What's the future going to look like? What is
Right.
this COVID, post COVID, or not even post COVID because we're not even out of it? What is this new COVID like world going to look like? What
Mhm.
pictures are we painting in our mind about our future? So that's the part of our energy system that we're going to be focusing on.
Okay, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. Well, thank you so much. Big, big thanks and love. Here's my new hug. I go Wakanda style. Mm, Give some sister love there.
Namaste.
All of it. Just all of it. Look, we do rainbow here. Here's a rainbow. Woo!
Oh, rainbow.
A rainbow of energy for you. That's what we do for the little ones. I have a 4-year-old, so.
The rainbow is all the colors in the chakra system, so that's beautiful.
Oh, well, that's a lovely way to end. Well, I hope that we will see you again. And thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today.
My absolute pleasure. I'm glad it gave you an opportunity to use my voice
Yeah,
positively.
yes, absolutely. Be well, love, and blessings to you.
Namaste.